Friday. Yes, it's almost the weekend. It's been a long week, getting ready for the Guy's Tap. We got a lot of things we're working on. We got the medals yesterday. I think I've got one in my pocket here. Let's see if I got it here. If somebody locks it up in front of me. Oh, here we go. Check these little babies out. Pretty slick, huh? Nice little lanyard on them. You have to run the half to get this one. The 5K one looks just like this one. It's just a little bit smaller, but still got the blue gel. So something to look forward to at the finish line this year. A couple updates about some local things happening that we have not put on the website yet because we're waiting for them to sort out just a little bit. First of all the people in Admirals Point and Admirals Bay are pretty excited because Promontory and then Admirals Point Drive Road got repaved this week, and it looks spectacular. The curbs got redone, the sidewalks looks very nice. So thank you, City of Indianapolis, for some new sidewalks and for the road work on there. That road was looking pretty rough, and if you're in the Guy's Tap, it's about mile 10 till about mile 11. That was all repaved just this week, so have some nice fresh terrain for you next weekend. Secondly, if you've been looking at the last Guy's newsletter, we talked about the surveying job going to be done on Carroll Road. There's residents that back up to Carroll Road in Guy's Harbors. It's called Admirals Bay, and those residents have been wondering for a long time, where's my property end and where does the association start? Because there's a big tree line along there. There's also a lot of mulch beds and a lot of different things, and people kind of over the years, added their own stuff to the top of that little ridge, and it's a stretch of road. It's pretty long. I would say it's probably at least 1,000 feet long, maybe a little bit longer than that. So we had it surveyed. Guy's Harbors had it surveyed, and what the surveyor was supposed to do was not only survey it, but they're supposed to send out a notice 24 hours or 48 hours ahead of time that they're going to survey it, to let the residents know they're going to survey it, and also to put a white, like a paint line, down that property line or down that easement line so that people know where their property starts and where the association's ends. And unfortunately, the stakes were put in the ground, but the white line was never put out and the letters were never sent out. So there's a lot of people wondering, what do these stakes mean? What's coming through here? Just so you guys know, that's really what it's all about, is just trying to determine where that property line is so that residents know, and actually so the association knows, what's our liability and what's the homeowners. What's been happening over the last 15 years or so, and actually I've been on the board now for, I don't know, probably 8 years, 9 years, is every time a tree gets knocked down, the association puts a new one up. Well, we start thinking about it. We don't think all those trees are ours. Some of those are on private property. Some people put bushes in on Guy's Harbors property. So are we supposed to take care of those? I mean, it's just a lot of, we want to clear that up once and for all. And it's not to say that we're not going to take care, and I say we, Guy's Harbors, is not going to take care of that line like it has in the past, but we just want to know exactly what we own, what we're supposed to take care of, and then we'll determine whether we want to go over the crest of the hill or not, or whether we're going to do all the mulch beds and take care of those things. So that's something that's in the air right now, and I'm hoping by the next issue or newsletter that comes out May 31st, we'll have all that cleared up and we can put that in the newsletter. The last thing I want to talk about is this whole milfoil and algae thing. As you guys know, especially those of you on the south end of the lake. Now, I'm going by Intercoastal here on the Oleo Bridge, and I know Intercoastal has a lot of problems with algae and milfoil, but it's really prevalent on the south end of the lake. That's kind of the catch basin for all this stuff. And the Guy's Lake Coalition, which are the stewards of the lake, it's a non-profit organization. They put on the blast on the bridge as their biggest fundraiser, but they actually are raising money year-round to help with lake improvement projects. Well, they got a layer grant. It's a through the fees that you pay when you launch a boat into any Indiana lake. That money goes back to the lakes in the form of grants to help improve the lakes. And they got what's called a layer grant for $5,000. And it was in our last newsletter. We talked about this new form coming up to talk more about that. But that layer grant is supposed to go towards ridding algae and milfoil in the lake. And so we're partnering with Guy's Harbors. So there's two nonprofit boards, all on the south end of the lake, all having a vested interest in the lake, in the upkeep of the lake, and we're partnering together to do this project, to do some algae and milfoil treatments on the south end of the lake. Now the big question is, what are we going to treat and how much we're going to treat, and are we going to do mycove or not? Well, we've targeted tentatively a handful, I say handful, it's about 20 to 30 different coves and inlets and shoreline areas that need to be treated. If you go to Google Maps and do an aerial view, it's a picture from a year or two ago, but you can really see the green algae in its heyday in the summertime. So we're using those maps to kind of determine where the algae is going to come in the worst, where the blooms are the worst. And they are going to be doing some treatments this year to rid some of this algae and milfoil on Geist. Now, some areas they cannot do with the Lair Grant. Lair Grant will not let them do algae treatments and milfoil around private docks. So if you have a dock or you have a whole string of docks, the Lair Grant money is not supposed to be used for private use like that. However, when you have inlets, you've got shorelines, you've got other public areas, that's fair game. So that's the areas they're targeting. Now, Geist Harbors may, and I hope they will, put some money in to do those other areas, especially the ones around the docks. If we can get a deal on doing it all at once, and maybe incrementally, Geist Harbors pays the difference and helps with the matching on the Lair Grant. In my opinion, and I'm a board member of Geist Harbors, I think it's a great use of our money. Nothing protects our home values better than making sure that lake is healthy. And it's hard to show a home when you're waterfront and you look out and you've got nothing but green outside your dock. Nobody wants to move into that mess. So that's kind of a couple things going on this week. I just want to update you on. As we get more information about the Lair Grant, I will pass that along. I'm hoping by next week, by the end of next week, to have some kind of mapping and some information to put up on atgeist.com. Also, the Geist Watershed Alliance is going to put some information up about this as well, and then geistlake.com. So there's lots of information sources that will be coming out here in the next week or so, and certainly by the next magazine we'll have most of this stuff sorted out to get you all updated. Hey, that's it for today. It's a lot to talk about. I'm headed to a Geist half marathon board meeting. It's our last one of the year. We're doing the final tweaks and plans for next Saturday's race. You should start seeing signs going up this weekend about traffic restrictions. Don't forget about that. I know Cathedral has a baccalaureate mass that morning, so I know you Cathedral people are going to have to look at those maps and figure out where you got to park and when you have to leave to get out of your neighborhoods. So we apologize for that, but work with us. It's only once a year, and it's only one morning a year, and we're doing lots of great things. $236,000 in 5 years for the Geist half for our local schools. All right, have a good weekend, everybody.